So it was close, but I just about missed this sale. Okay, it was on Great Collections. I love combing through Great Collections. I like buying coins from them. I also like observing some of the what I would call the cream of the crop type coins that would normally be reserved for what I would call the premier auction houses. All right, Great Collections is no doubt about it good. They deal in economical and high end. When I mean premier auction houses, I mean like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers and Legend Morphe and all of those. All right, so it's a 1964 Jefferson nickel. If you remember a few days ago, back a few days ago, I had done a video on the top 5 1960s Jefferson nickels that sell for as much as $27,000+. Okay, that's a huge amount of money for coins that are barely 50 years old. So the 1964 was not on my list, but this coin did sell this past Sunday for what I would consider probably really huge money for a coin like this, for $12,375. Again, lots of money for a 50-year-old nickel that, can be probably found in coin roll hunting because it's such a common date, with over 1 billion served and 1 billion made, in case you didn't get the reference. But it's a coin that graded PCGS, Mint State 67 with full step designations. So a 5-figure coin, that's phenomenal. There's bound to be more of them, so on and so forth. But I think that is not the biggest news coming from this listing. If you could take a look at these close-ups of what is considered the full steps of this particular coin, you'll see what I mean. And I'll let the picture just kind of like do a little bit of the talking for a few minutes. Or maybe not a few minutes, a few seconds. And I don't know if because PCGS finds that this decade of nickel is extremely tough to find any sort of specimens with sharp full strikes, that they will take a coin that looks marginally not full steps and grade it on a curve, okay, and giving it kind of like that extra boost. You see what I see, okay? So the red arrows point to the actual steps that, is in question here. Typically, okay, the steps would be 6 defined lines, uninterrupted. The graders will go as far as 5 full steps with no interruptions, but you could see that the first 3 are solid crisp, from the top set of stairs. It's kind of hard to decipher because the detail is so small, but I tried to blow it up so that way it's easier for you guys to understand exactly what we're talking about. So there's 5-6 lines that go straight across, okay, and for full steps designations, there can't be any interruptions, no dents, nicks, stings, no weakness in the strike. But this particular coin, you see all those tiny little nicks at the bottom set of stairs, okay, which has got to be the last 3 lines of stairs. Man, I don't know. If I went as far as to spend this kind of money on a coin and not be 100% sure it's the right call on the grade, would leave me a little bit scared. Okay, it's a lot of money to tie up. I don't care if you're a millionaire, but if you had this coin and a reputation is at stake as far as your registry set collection or when it comes to resell, it's tough. What's even tougher is if you can imagine cracking this coin out of its protective chamber of sorts, and you went ahead just for kicks, resubmitted it to PCGS, will they assign the same grade? And especially with the full steps. It's kind of hard to say. This is one that I'm so torn over. I love, with my heart of hearts, reporting on coins and sales just like this. If not similar, very, very much on par with some of the other listings. But I will also break an auction down. Not to anyone's fault. Again, third-party grading is extremely subjective because you have actual human people, okay, grading these things, and what one person sees as a certain grade, another person sees as a completely different grade, okay? And if you have all of the graders, however many dozens work for the grading companies, do they all exactly see eye to eye on their grading standards? That's a tough one, which makes the whole prospect of grading quite the gamble. But it certainly paid off for this one individual that consigned this coin. It's close. I don't know. That is an extremely tough call for me to make. If I had the money, I probably would not touch this with a 100-foot pole. That's how unsure I am. But regardless, I had to do my due diligence and report this sale. As a little bit controversial as it is, because we're all made to be educated on strike designations on coins, whether it's a full head on standing Liberty quarters or full steps on these things or full bands on Mercury dimes. It has to be all in line with grading standards. Unfortunately, I just don't see it on this one. But anyways, thank you guys again for joining in this evening. Give me a great big like and do subscribe, Blue Ridge Silverhound, if you haven't done so. We talk coins all night and all day long. So if you guys have questions, comments, I would love to hear about them. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.